Well, let's talk about the beaten finalist, Martin Lukeman. Obviously, a huge weekend for him making the final, but just how career-changing do you think this past weekend might be for him?
Yeah, it really could be. And I think every year when we see players win their tour card at Q School or get that tour card via other means, every year you see players make strides straight away. You look at last year, Alan Suter was one that really did take off straight away, adjusted to life on the tour very quickly. Of course, a former 5-time world champion, Raymond Van Barneveld, he got his tour card back at Q School. We saw him win a title, and Florian Hempel, towards the end of the year, we saw him do some damage in the TV events. Martin Lukeman, a player that got his tour card last year, fair to say he didn't do too much at the start of last year. He only picked up, I think, just under 10 grand for the season, which if he was to replicate that this year, which we know now he's not going to, he's going to do a lot more, but he wouldn't have got anywhere near keeping his tour card. But I think there were some signs last year when you look back to his results that he could do something this year. And I want to touch on, he got to a semi-final in the Players' Championships last year, had some big results in that. I think he had 4-6-5 wins that day, beat Johnny Clayton on the way as well. And he's someone that you got to say he has taken a bit of time to get used to playing on the Pro Tour and being a tour card holder. And that's no disrespect to him or any player, because not every player takes to it straight away. And he's someone that has took in all these experiences, soaked up all these experiences. And I think we saw at the weekend it all almost come together, getting to the final and losing out. But what we saw on that run to the final, I think we saw a lot of facets of his game that could hold him in good stead for the rest of the year. And he is going to be someone that we'll see in plenty of the major events now this year off the back of this final and what he's done over the last few months. But I think World Match Play has got to be a genuine shout for him to get into that now. At the start of the year, you might not have said that. The World Grand Prix, the Players' Championship finals, the European Championship. I mean, you look at the qualifiers for that, the 7 qualifiers that we've had, one we had last year, he's won 6 out of the 7 qualifiers. So he's making his mark in the qualifiers. And we've said in the past on this show how important those qualifiers are for players coming through the ranks. And he's certainly making his mark on that now. He's winning those qualifiers more regularly and giving himself more opportunities, giving himself more stage time. And we're seeing it this year with the Euro Tour going back to that 13-event calendar, that these players are going to get a lot more stage time. And I think Martin Lukeman is someone that we are going to see plenty of on the stage this year. And he's been an entertaining player to watch at the weekend, come through some tight games there, beat 2 of the German players as well. So we've seen that he can go up against the crowd and come through. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can do this year. And you're going to hear from him in a moment as well. We haven't spoke to him yet, but I'm looking forward to chatting to him and hearing what he thought of the weekend and how far he can go.
Yeah, and I want to focus on last year because it's a really, at least to me, interesting campaign that he had. Yes, he won under 10,000 pounds. Yes, if you look at the averages, he was 112th in the Players' Championship events, averaging 88.5. And yes, 19 of the 30 tournaments he lost first match. He did come on more at the end of the year. You mentioned that run to the semifinal. He also won 2 other boards. So over those final 5 events, he was playing much, much better. But he also went out first match 19 times over the course of the year. And beyond that, I'll stop right there. He went out first round 19 of those times. But there's another way to look at all of this, and that was just how difficult of a draw he had last year relative to what you'd expect. Of those 19 times he went out first round, 18 of them were to players who ended up qualifying for the World Championships at the end of the year. The first 15 players he played, most of them in first round, but a couple of them in second rounds and third rounds, ended up qualifying for the World Championships. 38 of the 45 players he went against, including 26 of the first round matchups, were against players who ended up playing in the World Championship. He only drew someone who didn't qualify for Worlds 4 times all year. By comparison, the players that he finished tied with in the Players' Championship order of merit, obviously you can break the tie on countback, but there were 3 other players he finished tied with. Boris Kursmar drew 7 players who ended up not qualifying for Worlds. So did Max Hopp. Scott Waits drew 11. That's more in line with what you'd expect, somewhere in the high single digits to low double digits. Martin Lukeman only drew 4 players all year first match who did not end up qualifying for the World Championships, and only 7 across all rounds. He was given a very difficult draw, or at least a challenging draw every tournament. And yes, his performances didn't match up, but he was never really given a chance until the back end of the year to put some matches together and get some confidence. And what did he do when he got that chance? Okay, he drew Ian White, but Ian White was struggling at the time. Then he drew one of the few players who didn't qualify for Worlds, beat him in a last leg decider, took some confidence out of that and lifted his game and beat Kim Huybrechts, beat Johnny Clayton, as you mentioned, beat him 6-3, beat Keen Barry before going out. Okay, he got beat to nil by Ryan Searle, but Ryan Searle averaged nearly 117 in that match. Once he got a chance, once he got his foot in and got some confidence, he got results. And this year, he's not lighting up the board or lighting up the room with his performances, but he's playing steady, and he's added 4 points to his averages. He's went from being 112th in averages to the mid 60s so far this year. And that added confidence that's come from learning how to win and finally getting a little bit of luck in the draw has paid dividends. He's now provisionally in the World Match Play. He's provisionally in every television event except for the Grand Slam as things stand. And he's playing well enough that you think that there's a good chance he'll hold that. He'll still need to keep getting results and maybe hopefully get a little bit of luck that he didn't get last year. But I think last year he just never was given a chance to get his foot in until it was too late. And once he did, he started learning how to win. And as you said, he knew how to, he showed what his game is like when he's given the chance. He knows he's very good at picking his moments and winning with those mid-90 averages. And well, if you can win, if you know how to win with a mid-90s average, you're going to go deep quite a bit and pick up ranking money and qualify for all of the events. And that's what he's doing now.